What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. This time it's Iron Man Mark IV diecast from Hot Toys, and you can order this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link down below. This is my only Iron Man now. I sold my Mark 6 and 46. Yeah, they were giving a good price out of it, so I have no choice. They gave me an offer I can't refuse, but this is not a bad consolation price. I'm not the biggest fan of Mark IV. Mark IV and Mark III, you know, I wanted the Mark 50 as well and Mark 85, so I decided, you know, I'm just gonna wait out, and then in the meantime, I'm gonna get this just to fill the gap. I always felt like Mark IV was the Iron Man. Like, if you know, just mold a toy out of something, you know, like an Iron Man, this would be it, like Mark IV. And you know, any toy like from Hasbro or just generic toy, this is kind of like the mold that you would get. Like Mark 7 is probably my favorite design, but talking about just being just the Iron Man, I always felt like it was Mark IV. They did a terrific job on this. You can see here there's a bunch of accessories that it comes with. It's not as much, surprisingly, as, you know, compared to Mark 6, which is, you know, the Iron Man before this, and Mark 46. So that's why I'm kind of comparing him to those two. It comes with the usual, the articulated hands, as you can see there. There's joints in the fingers, which is really awesome. And this one, I believe this is not the one that fades. Trust me, even at this point in age, their hand still fades. Maybe not the pink panties one, but most of the time it's the repulsor hands and the fisted hands, because they're made out of rubber. And this is the fresh donuts, as you can see here. Just a box, a plain box. A cup of coffee, which the lid doesn't come off. Donuts. And I only said that because I just had the Star Ace, and that's even better. And then you know, just a few accessories here and there. They're not really that special, to be quite honest with you. We've seen this in Mark 6. When it first came out on Mark 6, this feels a bit, you know, surprising. But now, you know, it's all right. And then those shoulder rockets that we've seen also in Mark III diecast. So as you can see here, nice detail altogether. You gotta be careful. These guys are really flimsy. So when putting them in, you gotta find the right spot. Just hold them on the edge, because mine broke right out of the box. Honestly, I think if you're transporting it or whatever, yeah, these are really delicate pieces. So it looks like a lot, but honestly, it's just the forearm rockets. And you can see the extra head sculpt here with the sunglasses and that neck piece. And really generic base, Iron Man 2 and it's just all black. It's not even one of those dynamic stand base, which is fine with me, because I love this kind of bases. It just saves space on my display case. And as far as the figure itself, it's beautiful. Every diecast figure of Iron Man. Now, if you are having second thoughts of buying an Iron Man figure, especially diecast, don't. They always tend to sell out. Maybe not right away, but eventually they will, and especially the first 7. And then, you know, because I made a mistake of not getting Mark V, and they become expensive. So worst case scenario, if you didn't like the Iron Man that you bought, you would break even, or maybe just lose $20 or so. So far, the one that hasn't had any resale value, in my opinion, was the Mark II diecast. And maybe Mark III, maybe. You know, I was able to sell my Mark III with only losing exclusive edition to, you know, like $20 or so. But that's pretty much it. So, you know, for the most part, you'll break even. As you can see here, it's a beautifully engineered, as always, toy from Hot Toys. It's a diecast, lots of articulation. I'm not even gonna demonstrate that. I mean, if you've had diecast before, you know what it's capable of. You know, double jointed knees. Iron Man diecast is kind of like the flagship products of Hot Toys, if you're not aware of, if you're new to the hobby. So you're gonna get a premium for this. Also, the price is premium. It's almost never gonna go down $300 nowadays, or maybe including this, it's not gonna go down around $340. You know, the only disappointing part for this is that we just got off Mark 6. And that's an excellent figure. You know, it has the battle damage headpiece, chest plate, this nice diorama base, and some you know, extras like the missiles and or the lasers and all that stuff. which is not included in this figure. And it's almost the same price, that's disappointing because the base itself is tremendous for Mark 6. It's only expensive by what, like $15 or so, which I would gladly pay. I mean, this one has some accessories that Mark 6 does not have, and I understand, but the donuts, you compare the donuts and the sunglasses to Mark 6 base, I mean, it's not even close. So you can see here, there's a bunch of details, even in this shin right there, this calf, you've seen this in Mark 3 as well. So engineering wise, it's really nice. There's really no complaints whatsoever. Probably one of the well, I wouldn't say better Hot Toys because it looks the same as Mark 6 outside of the chest plate, and people are gonna be like, well, it's totally different armor. Where it is, I know the differences. What I'm saying is the feel. Once you get them, if I switch the chest plate, I don't know if that's possible. I don't have the Mark 6 anymore, and you can take this off and it lights up. I don't know, maybe because I just bought that, not too long ago as well. So the excitement is not there at all. So when I open this up and playing around with it, it doesn't feel complete, But if this is gonna be your first Iron Man, I can see the excitement. It's a really nicely well-made figure. The price is a little high in my opinion, considering that like I said earlier, Mark 46 and Mark 6 was just what, like 2 years apart, maybe 2.5 years, and Mark 46 again. Better base, bunch of extras. Arguably, no, not arguably, better head sculpt. Compared to the Tony Stark head sculpt. The head sculpt of this is a recycled Tony Stark from Iron Man 2. The what do you call that? The workshop version or something like that. Even the flaps. On Mark 3, this one has like this tinfoil silver thingy that comes out. This one does not. So they cut corners on that, and. I'm not hating on this figure at all. I'm not. I'm just trying to compare objectively what I noticed because I have those figures. I still had them, and comparing them, it just feels like this was a little bit on the lackluster side when it comes to effort. When talking about Hot Toys here, it seems like they just want to release a diecast Mark IV, and I understand there's a gantry version which is twice as much, maybe not twice as much, but that's around $700, which is, that's including tax and shipping, which is I'm not gonna go into because I don't have the space for that. But yeah, this is without the chest plate, nicely detailed. Everything's nice about the figure. It does lights up. It has a blue on the side, blue on the forearms, also sort of Mark 6. This is not, I would say, even on the movie itself, the armor didn't do. His screen time was he was eating donuts and fighting Mark II. You obviously want an actual fight with Whiplash, and so you got Mark 6 for that, and the Avengers scene in the first one. But I don't know. I felt like they could have done more for this figure, or at the very least, make the price a little bit better. Not just $15 difference, I believe, between this and Mark 6. Well, there's a huge gap between the accessories that they come with. Let's just talk about the stand, let's not even talk about the battle damage pieces. As you can see, the shoulder there, they're really flushed. That's one thing that I could say about this figure is that it looks great. As far as look wise, and sometimes I don't really need that much accessories, to be quite honest with you. I would have been so much happier, because even on Mark 6, the base is too big. I already sold mine, but had this become like $300, I would have been so much happier, compared to what it was now. But as far as head sculpt is concerned, the faceplate, beautiful as always. It lights up. I like the fact that it is easy to turn on and off. I believe Mark 6 was the same, where it's not like the Mark 42 treatment now where you have to pry it off. Even with the Mark 46, so it's really easy. It's magnetized. You just take this off. You turn them on and you put the faceplate back on and off, and this time it's off. But yeah, really easy. Now the up close, I've seen some people having some issues with a faceplate. Some of them have scratches. Mine has one as well. You don't see it in this video, but like it's on the top bridge of his nose. It's more of like a micro scratches, which is really annoying because you can see the white residue all over it. Now if you bought it from Big Bad Toy Store or Sideshow, I would suggest you contact your dealer, because don't contact Hot Toys directly. They would not respond to you. But their customer service is a bit horrible. But if you, that's why with Iron Man, you always want to buy it from a reputable dealer. Don't avoid eBay or Amazon or whatnot. You gotta, because on Iron Man there's a lot of things could go wrong. Paint chips, scratches, lights not working. I've seen it all. I've been collecting for quite some time now. So when it comes to Iron Man, you want to buy it to a reputable dealer. So when things go wrong, it's easy to contact them, and it will go wrong. And rightfully so. You're paying $300 for a figure. You want it to be perfect, and you have every right to feel that way. At the end of the day, they should they're charging this much, so they should deliver that much as well. So as far as the head sculpt, I like this head sculpt. It looks nice. Is it better than Mark 46? I know it's a different timeline in Tony's life, but even at that juncture of Tony's looks, it's not that accurate, I would say. I would still pick Mark 46 to this, but if you've seen the head sculpt of Mark 48, that is beautiful right there. I mean, I'm not saying this is bad, it's just not spot on. But I can live with it. It's nice. It's decent enough. It's not as bad as the previous Marks, like Mark 7 plastic version. That is Boy George. Yeah, that's not Tony Stark. But this one is a little bit more Tony. I can live with this. I don't need a custom head sculpt for this. And they've used this like 3 times now. Between this and the workshop version, and I think there's another Mark that used this. But yeah, it's especially when you put the glasses on, it looks really nice. I don't know what's throwing it up. Maybe the hair. Maybe the hair's a little bit too funky for me. So when you put the glasses on, and it says on the instructions, don't leave it for too long. It might damage the paint. So it's up to you. I'll leave it up to you guys. But yeah, looks really nice when you put it this way. Scene where Nick Fury was talking to him, and they're trying to recruit him to join the Avengers around here. And the color as well, well, in fairness to I got my collar for Mark 46, and it's black, and it has not stained the neck piece, not at all. And I've had that there for a year now, maybe more. So yeah, I don't think you need to be worried about that at all. So one of the biggest hard part to do here is to change the head sculpt. So what I suggest is, this is what happens. So you gotta move it forward. Don't use pliers. Some people are suggesting use pliers and wrap them in a t-shirt so you don't damage. Don't do that. Don't even heat them up. I'm afraid to heat up this figure because of the paint, the quality of the paint. So what I do is I take off the faceplate and all that stuff. So what you gotta do is you gotta move this piece forward. And you can achieve that, but if you do this a lot of times, it'll eventually get easier. But yeah, you just gotta crank it up forward, and there you go. You just take it off. So you put the entire head sculpt. It's hard to do it with just the neck piece. So just push it forward. That's the only advice that I can tell you. And as far as before we wrap this thing up, I'll put him on a few poses. This is him just eating the famous donut scene right here with this beautiful armor. Now, I'm sorry if I've sounded negative in the first half of the video. This is a beautiful figure. It's still worth it in my opinion. It's just that I've seen better, and I hope and I wish that the price was better. But overall, it's a beautiful figure. I still recommend it. Still recommend it. I don't want to sound like I'm dismantling the figure altogether, because it's still a really nice piece. It's just that the price kind of threw it off for me. I am planning to pair this with Mark 50 and 85, and maybe definitely Mark 7, and I think I would call it a day for Iron Man. And this is the landing pose, so I don't think I did this right. So if you guys have any suggestions on how to do this, please put in the comments down below. I know you gotta extend the legs, but on the promotional pictures, now what I did here looks okay, because of certain angles, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be this way. Let me know on the comments if you have any tips. I feel like the right leg is too far back, but The only one that I really did this on was Mark III. It's because he has this separate piece on doing this. But yeah, I was having trouble there. It looks decent from that angle, but trust me, it doesn't look good. Yeah. And this is him trying to shoot some missiles. Beautiful, beautiful pose. He has a lot of firepower. Is it more than Mark 6? And this is, like all the lights you can see here. I'm gonna turn off the lights so you can kind of appreciate the blue lighting on his forearm and his eyes. It doesn't bleed on the side as much as I thought it would, because on Mark 6 it does. There's like a blue light, and this one comes with a blue light as well. It's just not as prominent as Mark 6. So you can see here. I don't know if the Mark 6 faceplate is gonna fit as well, but yeah, I like some battle damage on my pieces a lot. And there you go, guys. This is a Mark IV. I believe it's wait listed now on Sideshow. Do I suggest this figure? Definitely. Like I said, at worst, you're gonna sell them, at a small loss. At worst, I don't think it's gonna be the case for this one, because it's one of the first original 7. So there's always going to be a market for this for those who are doing the Hall of Armor. So if you are debating, don't go ahead and pick this one up. Even though you're on the fence, just go ahead and pick it up. This is not the armors from Iron Man 3 where they're plastic and you get stuck with shotgun. Or no, pick this one up, and worst case scenario, if you don't like it, you can sell this back at a later time. But yeah, nice figure. Is it better than Mark 6 and 46? I don't think so, but it's still pretty darn good. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and leave it down in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this figure, or if you only have one, are you gonna prefer this over 85 or 50? So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next review.